So, today's session, time management and stress management for teachers. If we talk about the time management is a set of principles, practices, skills, tools, and systems working together to help us get more value out of our time with the aim of improving the quality of our life. And there is some common characteristics of time. Just like time is gold, do not litter it away. And it is a unique resource, and if invested, cannot be replaced, cannot be stopped, built for future, nor retrieved. Everybody has its same share, irrespective of being rich or poor. So, how can we utilize our time? Time management is a set of tools which enables us to eliminate wastage, be prepared for meetings, refuse excessive workloads, monitor project progress, allocate resources, act prepared to task importance, ensure that long-term projects are not neglected, plan each day efficiently, and plan each week effectively. There are many myths about stress and time management. So, there's good and bad stress. Good stress is excitement, thrills, etc. The goal is to recognize personal signs of bad stress and deal with them. Actually, research shows the opposite because planning my time just takes more time. And what is the exactly and what is the real time? There is another thing that body always has to come down, and when it does, it can't always be happy and be very effective then after the post. A time management problem means that there's not enough time to get done, but what needs to get done. No, a time management problem is not using our time to our fullest advantage to get done what we want done. So look out, we may only the doing what is urgent and not what's important. It's a myth that we may only be doing what is urgent and not what's important. Not necessarily we should verify that we have a time management problem. This requires knowing what we really want to get done and if it is getting done or not. In reality, many adults don't even know when they are really stressed out until their bodies tell them so, and they miss the early warning signs from their body. For example, headaches, setbacks, itches, etc. So, how can we manage the time? There is a matrix of time management. That is, there is a urgent and important, very urgent, important, not important, only urgent, and not urgent. So, if you're worrying about a task at hand and putting it off, which leads to indecision, creating inefficiency by implementing first instead of analyzing first, and unanticipated interruptions that do not pay off, procrastinating, making unrealistic time estimates, and unnecessary errors, crisis management, poor organization, micromanaging by failing to let others perform and grow, and doing urgent rather than important tasks, poor planning and lack of contingency and ineffective meetings. So, time management refers to managing time effectively so that the right time is allocated to the right activity. And time management is the act of taking conscious control over the amount of time spent on specific activities. You exercise time management to increase productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency. Practice skills and use tools and techniques to aid you when accomplishing task projects. So, why do we need time management? Why do we need time management? Is that to save time, to reduce stress, to increase our work output, and to have more control over our job responsibilities. There are some obstacles to effective time management. Just like unclear objectives, disorganization, you mess up your room, you mess up your gaming table, and you mess up all things. Disorganization in every field and inability to say no. If you're not comfortable, it's very important that you say no. But many times we are not aware and we think that if you say no, that it's not good. But inability to say no, it's also a very obstacles to effective time management. Micromanaging by failing to let others perform and grow and doing urgent rather than important tasks. Poor planning and lack of contingency plans, failing to delegate, lacking priorities, standards, policies, and procedures, ineffective meetings. So, how to use time effectively and how do we save our time through effective planning. Through effective planning, just like managing the decision making process and prior time we make a plan and managing decision making process and not the decisions. Only we work on a decision making process, concentrating on doing only one task at a time, establishing daily, short term, mid term, and long term priorities, handling correspondence expeditiously with quick short letters and memos, throwing unneeded things away, and establishing personal deadlines and ones for the organization, not wasting other people's time, setting goals and objectives, setting deadlines, delegation of responsibilities, prioritizing activities as per their importance, spending the right time on the right activities, getting rid of busy work and maintaining accurate calendars about by them, knowing when to stop a task, policy or procedure, and delegating everything possible and empowering subordinates, keeping things simple, ensuring time is set aside to accomplish high priority tasks, setting aside time for review, and using checklist and to-do list, adjusting priorities as a result of new tasks. So there is a one time management process. Cost your time, making activity logs, goal setting, planning, prioritizing, and scheduling. It's a time management process. Costing your time. Understand the true value by calculating your cost per year. The cost per year is equal to money plus effort plus space plus equipment plus profit you generate. So there are many common symptoms also that poor stress and time management, irritability, fellow workers notice this first, fatigue. How many adults even notice this? And difficulty concentrating. We often don't need to just to get through the day. And forgetfulness. I can't remember what I did all day, what I ate yesterday. Loss of sleep. This affects everything else. And physical disorders, for example, headaches, rashes, tics, cramps, etc. It worst withdrawal and depression. If we do not do today, then it's worst. And withdrawal and depression. After some time, you feel depressed and you feel that it's not good for your health and it's not good for you and not good for others. Firstly, you should making activity logs. Make activity logs and write things down. A common time management mistake is to try to use our memory to keep track of too many details, leading to information overload. And using our to-do list to write things down is a great way to take control of our projects and tasks and keep ourselves organized. If you write down the things, it's very easy that just like if you use your phone or your laptop or your PC that what's the main important things and write down things. Prioritize our list. Prioritizing our to-do list help us focus and spend more of our time on the things that really matter to us. Rate our tasks into categories like should do, must do. Two things, two categories. Should do and must do, etc. You think and you should also change that make a realistic estimate of time spent during the day on activities. Pinpoint the critical areas and finding the high yielding time of our day and plan our week. Spend some time in the beginning of each week to plan our schedule. Taking the extra time to do this will help increase our productivity and balance our important long-term projects with our more urgent tasks. All we need is 15 to 30 minutes each week for our planning session. So spend some time at the beginning of each week to plan our schedule, and taking the extra time to do this will help increase our productivity and balance on important long-term projects. We should also carry a notebook. We never know when we are going to have a great idea or brilliant insight. Carry a small notebook with us wherever we go, so we can capture our thoughts. If we wait too long to write them down, we could forget. Another option is to use a digital recorder. Also use a digital recorder, but carry a notebook, a small notebook, not a very big book, but a small notebook. We never know when we are going to have a great idea or brilliant insight, so it's good that we carry a notebook. We also, I just say that learn to say no. Many people become overloaded with too much work because they overcommit. Say yes when they really should be. Saying no, learn to say no to low priority request and will free up time to spend on things that are more important. And think before acting. How many times have we said yes to something we later regret it? We later regret it. Before committing to a new task, stop to think about it before we give our answer. We will prevent us from taking on too much work. Think before acting and think before do any task and any work. Before committing to a new task, stop to think about it before we give our answer, and this will prevent us from taking on too much work. Continuously improve ourselves. Next thing is very important, that continuously improve ourselves. Make time in our schedule to learn new things and develop our natural talents and abilities. For example, you can take a class, attend a training program, help children in their project or read a book. So through this, we also improving ourselves. Any new task, any new work, any new assignment, if you participated, when you think that you learn many things. What we giving up to do are regular activities. It is good evaluating regularly how we are spending our time. In some cases, the best thing we can do is to stop doing an activity that is no longer serving us, so we can spend the time doing something more valuable. Use a time management system. If we use a time management system, can help us keep track of everything that we need to do, organize and prioritize our work, and develop sound plans to complete it. An integrated system is like a glue that holds all the best time management practices together. Using a time management system can help us keep track of everything that we need to do and organize and prioritize our work and develop sound plans to complete it. An integrated system, it's like glue. An integrated system is like glue that holds all the best time management practices together. So we need it and identify bad habits. What's your bad habits? There are we wastes our time. and make a list of bad habits that are stealing our time, sabotaging our goals, and blocking our success. Just like these days, many childrens, well, not childrens, many teachers, many persons, many businessmen waste their time in mobile. Their screen time is 8 hours, 10 hours, 6 hours. So it's a bad habit. It doesn't mean that you don't use your phone. You use your phone, but maximum 2 hours. Maximum 2 hours you use your phone, and you have 24 hours, and 24 hours you use only 2 hours, and 2 hours is also sufficient time. But we use 6, 8, 10. That's not good. We waste our time. We learn many things, but it's your mind, it's your brain, and what things you learn through this. 2 hours is sufficient, and don't be a perfectionist. Sometimes some tasks don't require our best effort. Sending a short email to a colleague, for example, shouldn't take any more than a few minutes. Learn to distinguish between tasks that deserve to be done excellently and tasks that just need to be done. So don't be a perfectionist. Beware of filler tasks. When we have to do list filled with important tasks, be careful not to get distracted by filler tasks. Things such as organizing our bookcase or filling papers can wait until we tackle the items that have the highest priority. Avoid efficiency traps. Being efficient doesn't necessarily mean that we are being productive. Avoid taking on tasks that we can do with efficiency that don't need to be done at all just because we are busy and getting things done doesn't mean we are actually accomplishing anything significant. Delegated tasks should be specific with an end date. Delegate tasks should be specific with an end date. It's like a planning. Planning, draw an action plan, a list of things that need to be done to achieve your goals. Goal setting. Setting lifetime goals help to chart your life course and your career path. So break up your lifetime goal in smaller goals. Make a daily to-do list. Revise and update your list on daily basis and judge your performance. That is a goal setting. Prioritizing. Make a to-do list. Consider the value of the task before to do. It is worth spending your time and resources. Prioritize your tasks. The most important job should be completed first, followed by other jobs. Scheduling yourself. Delegated tasks should be specific with an end date, and it should be ensured that all delegated tasks is concluded with a deliverable time, and the progress should be monitored through diary entry. So it's a very important part that how can we manage things. If we manage things, it's very important that manage things and scheduling yourself. Everything you do is an opportunity cost, and learn to say no. Learn to say no, gentle number. I will do it if nobody else steps forward, or I will be your default back, but you have to keep searching. There is a time management matrix. Through time management matrix, we do many things, just like first thing, urgent, not urgent. In second quadrant, not urgent, urgent yet not important, and not important and not urgent. There is a fourth quadrant, that urgent, not urgent, urgent yet not important, and not important and not urgent. So there are many. There is a urgent task, but class studies and related assignments obviously urgent. Communication skill development urgent. Yoga, newspaper reading. It's urgent things, because if you don't follow your routine, the routine is break, and its effect on your health. And its effect on your health, that time management affects us also stress. You feel stress that you didn't follow your routine, so you feel stress. Not urgent, just like a, it's not very urgent task, that career skill development, personality development, future planning, book reading, knowledge, relationship management, network development. It's not very urgent. It's important, but not urgent. So we think that what is important and what is urgent and what is not urgent and what is very important, but right right time, it's not important. Suppose if uh, if someone is busy in another task and he think or she think that it is important, one person, this task is important for her, but one person, this task is not important for her. Sometimes things are urgent but not important. Just like routine SMS, routine mobile conversations, urgent. If you don't talk your mother, your father, your best friend, it's urgent thing. But right now, yet not important. So, not important and not urgent. Last and fourth quadrant, you see that not important and not urgent. We just wasting our time. Just like you play a cricket, it's good for your health, but it's not for your career, because your career is different. You only cricket playing cricket only for your health, or not also only for health. It's only time pass, wasting your time. It's not any fruitful for you. Movies, gossip, casual time is spent, first day, first show. Many people think that first day, first show we watch. So it's not important and not urgent. You also watch movie next day, but it's time management thing, that how can you manage your time. Premature relationships, TV serials, daily soaps, wasting your time. You don't learn anything. You just like a another person or another family daily routine, and you watch and you waste your time. Anything that disturbs your activities, and it's not important. It's only waste your time. So we make a plan, or we make a time management matrix, and in our bedroom we paste it. What is urgent, what is not urgent, what is urgent but not yet important, and last thing, not important, not urgent. Its matrix is very important, so we can save our time. If we talk about the procrastination is the thief of time. Avoid procrastination. How can we avoid procrastination? Doing things at the last minute is much more expensive than just before the last minute. You also do the things, just like your train timing is 7:40 and you reach the station 7:40, but by chance train schedule is 1 minute delay. So by chance, 1% chances, and many times it's happened, but once in a while it's not happen. You also late, like earlier, you also late 1 minute, and you the train is passing your eyes. What's do? It's not a time management thing, that we go late, and it's our financial loss, mental loss, our activities are also effects. So avoid procrastination. Not last minute is much more expensive than just before the last minute. Make a list and make a chart that you do things in your daily routine that accurately and according to time. Suppose your office timing, your college timing, your institute timing is 9 o'clock. What time you reach? Whenever you reach, many teachers or many faculty members say that 8:55. No, before 10 minutes you reach there, because suppose there is a jam, there is any mishappening in the road, anything happens. So 10 minutes before you reach your organization. Deadlines are really very important. Establish them yourself. So to-do list, I earlier say that make a to-do list. And before deadlines, complete your work, your task before time. Okay. So if we talk about the general adaptation syndrome is a stress management category. There is a three stages: alarm stage, resistance stage, and exhaustion stage. Alarm stage, the stressor upsets homeostasis or cellular balance. Body fights back by adjusting to the stress. Rest permits enhanced adaptation. So it's a alarming situation, just like as Hans Selby say that eye stressor is a stimulus with the potential of triggering the fight or flight responses. There is a fight or flight responses. So just like what is stress, what is the body responses to stress, and there is a how can we handle with stress, and cognitive restructuring, depth breathing, fight or flight response, activation of the sympathetic nervous system that occurs in response to a stressor and prepares the organism for dealing with a stressor. Sometimes we think that homeostasis are returned to equilibrium following activation of the stress response system, and meditation, a relaxation technique that combines focusing on a specific object or sensation while disengaging from other distractors and regulating internal experiences through non-judgmental acceptance. Okay, so there is a one new thing that PMR, progressive muscle relaxation, a relaxation technique involving the repeated tensing and relaxing of various muscle groups throughout the body. Stress is not only the mentally, emotionally, cognitive, behavioral, physiological reactions a person experiences in response to environmental threats or demands. It's very basic things that how can we deal with stress, and it's not just like as stress hormones, hormones including cortisol that are released by the body during a fight or flight response. Stress are any event or stimulus that causes stress. Just like Yuck's Dodson law, if you read this, that law dictating that physiological and mental function is optimal at mild to moderate levels of arousal, but diminishes as arousal become extreme, high or low. So, if we talk about the stress, that is a commonly used term in today, and most people appear to have an intuitive sense of what it means. Stress is difficult to precisely define as it is often used to interchangeably with a variety of other terms such as anxiety, pressure, or strain. In a general sense, stress refers to a collection of physiological, emotional, behavioral, and cognitive reactions that occur in response to environmental demands. As we interact with the world around us, we must make constant appraisals of environmental threats, challenges, and demands and attempt to cope with any issue that arise. At times, environmental demands are easily handled, such as when you have to press a button on a key to unlock your car. However, at other times, the demands of the environment can seem daunting or unmanageable, such as when you have to take three exams on the same day and result in feelings of physical tension. negative thought patterns, and unpleasant emotional experiences. According to Lozers and Folkman, suggested that stress results when the demands of the environment are greater than the individual's perceived coping resources. A stressor is any event or stimulus that causes stress. However, what serves as a stressor for one person may not be the same for another. For example, being asked to attend a social event may create stress for someone who perceives that they lack the necessary social skills to fit in, whereas another person who feels comfortable in social situations may not experience any stress. And stresses can take many forms, ranging from the daily hassles of life to significant life changes. Daily hassles are the regularly occurring events or situations that we experience in everyday life, such as misplacing items, concerns about weight, or having to wait your turn. Any one of these events is unlikely to have a major impact on our overall quality of life. In contrast, life significant. Notice that or not all stresses are negative, but getting married, having children, and starting a new job are often positive experiences. True, they can create a significant amount of stress because they require us to alter our lives and adjust to new circumstances. College is a transitional time of life when new and unique stressors are often being encountered. Not only are college teachers often away from home for the first time and forced to be more self-sufficient, but they must also cope with the increasing demands of the academic environment. Changes in sleep and eating habits, increased financial responsibilities, having to share living space and possessions with strangers, and increased exposure to alcohol. Many students, when they join new organization and they sharing their room, they living in a hostel, exposure to alcohol, drugs, and many things. Only a few of additional stressors often encountered by college students who are often forced to cope with the challenge of college stressors, which reduce access to their traditional support systems, such as family and long-term friends. Thus, it is important for college students also to increase their awareness about stress, the impact that excessive stress can have on physical and mental health, and various coping strategies and techniques available to help cope with the challenges of the college environment. It's very important point that these days college environment different types of college environment. So we teachers and academicians role is very important. How can we change our environment? If it's if through this environment we feel students feel bad stress or good stress, then how can we change? And not too late. If you think that after some time it's good, no, it's not good. After some time it's worst. So take a decision and change the policies of a college hostel, college students, and etc. There are many body responses to stress. There are many body responses to stress, many sources of stress, external source and internal source. External sources are sociological stresses and some environmental stresses. Internal source, psychological and physiological stresses. So, a primary source of stress is the presence of major life events and daily hazards in an individual's life. When threatened by environmental dangers, changes, or demands, you must experience a variety of physiological and psychological changes. Once the threat has been recognized and appraised as dangerous, the individual evaluates availing coping resources. If the demands of the situation are deemed to be greater than the available coping resources, an alarm or a fight or flight response is generated. During the fight or flight response, the body prepares for action, generally consisting of either confrontation or avoidance of the threat. The sympathetic nervous system is activated, and hormones, including adrenaline and noradrenaline, are released into the bloodstream. Heart and respiration rates rate and blood pressure increases, enabling the body to quickly circulate oxygen. Rich blood to the brain and large muscles of the body, blood is redirected uh, away from the extremities to the core, and digestive process are slow. Muscles tend to become tense, eyes dilate, and hearing becomes more acute. Sweat glands activate cool the body, and the skin often becomes paler or flushed. Concurrent with these physiological changes, the fight or flight response tends to generate various psychological processes. Attention becomes heightened and narrowed, with particular focus on threat relevant cues, and one's ability to attain to and concentrate on other tasks can be impaired. Short term memory and decision making abilities can also be negatively affected by high stress, and emotionally, people tend to report feeling jittery. On edge, fearful, anxious, and restless, facing fidgeting, and avoidance behaviors are common behavioral manifestations of a stress induced alarm reaction. And many people experience an urge to avoid the stressor or to flee from the situation. If the person is able to successfully manage or avoid the stressor, the body begins to return to homeostasis. However, chronic exposure to stress or recurrent confrontations with stressful stimuli can begin to take a toll on the. It's very common. Then how can we handle the stress? Stressor, stress reactivity, and strain. Stress reactivity, the fight or flight responses to the stressor, increased muscle tension, increased heart rate, and many things, and less saliva in the mouth, causing dryness of mouth, increased serum glucose, changes in brain waves, increased urination. So, what is the main role of stressor, stress reactivity, and stress? Physical, psychological, and behavioral. Physical tension, headaches, backaches resulting from exercise, muscle tension. Psychologically, fear of being in crowd resulting from contemplating the experience. Behavioral, alcohol abuse and getting into fights, just like daily hazards, increasing stress reactivity leading to strain. There are some techniques of stress management. Some techniques of stress management. First thing, time management, laughter, autogenic training. At an autogenic training session, uh, just like my right arm is heavy. Sit in the first thing, sit in the meditative posture, just like you meditate yourself. Meditative posture and scan the body. Sit and scan the body, and you feel, close your eyes, and you feel that my right arm is heavy. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. Repeat 3 or more times. It's depend on you. At least repeat 3 times. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. My arms and legs are heavy and warm. Repeat 3 times. Next line also. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My forehead is cool. My forehead is cool. My neck and shoulders are heavy. 3 times. My neck and shoulders are heavy. My neck and shoulders are heavy. And lastly, repeat 3 times one line. I am at peace. I am at peace. I am at peace. It's an autogenic training session. Do yourself. Getting any hobby, meditation, deep breathing, yoga nidra asana, you know everything, and relaxation techniques, fractional relaxation, and There are many benefits and cost of stress. Although we generally think of stress as something to avoid, stress is a natural, adaptive response that serves a protective function. At moderate levels, stress helps adult alert us to potential threats in the environment and enables us to focus our attention on resolving the threat. Stress also provides us with the energy needed to confront or retreat from the threat by the fight or flight response. Although some stress is beneficial, prolonged or intense stress can be associated with a variety of negative physical and psychological outcomes. For example, whereas moderate amounts of stress helps to focus our attention, excessive stress leads to diminished attention, concentration, decision making, and short-term memory. High stress can also lead to a variety of emotional disturbances, including irritability, depression, and anxiety disorders. Indeed, many researchers consider stress a core component of the cause of emotional disorders. Chronic high stress is associated with serious physical health concerns, including cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and more frequent illness, sexual dysfunction disorders, and recurrent headaches. High levels of stress are also associated with a variety of behaviors and lifestyle choices that can have negative health outcomes. Research indicates that individuals experiencing high stress are more likely to engage in excessive alcohol consumption and increased use of drugs and tobacco products. Ironically, alcohol increases cortisol levels, which can prolong the feeling of tension generated by stress responses. Stress can change the way the body processes alcohol, resulting in a reduction in the pleasant effects of alcohol and increased craving for more alcohol. Just like a chronic alcohol consumption and tobacco are also leading causes of variety of chronic health problems, including lung and liver cancer, cirrhosis of the liver, emphysema, coronary heart disease, and stroke. So it's important to recognize that exceptionally how levels of stress can have negative consequences as well. For example, when arousal levels are too low, people generally experience boredom, poorer cognitive and physical performance, procrastination, and lack of attention to detail. The Yerkes-Dodson law, developed by psychologists in the early 1900s, holds that organisms' physiological and mental functioning tends to be optimal when experiencing mild to moderate levels of arousal, although the level of stress and arousal required for optimal functioning varies depending on the type of task. Research over the past century has generally been supportive of this notion, which has shaped how stress and anxiety are conceptualized and treated. So, how can we stress management and how can we, given the beneficial nature of mild to moderate levels of stress, the goal of stress management is not to eliminate all stress. Rather, stress management techniques are designed to keep stress levels within an optimal range. Engaging in healthy lifestyle behaviors can help to reduce stress and maximize the livelihood of living a long, healthy life. Following stress management techniques have been consistently supported by empirical research, physical activity, exercise, healthy eating, adequate sleep, relaxation, mindfulness, and meditation, laughter, self expression, social support, cognitive restructuring, etc. It's very helpful. And next thing is be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. How to cope with stress during COVID-19 pandemic? You also cope with the stress and physical activity and exercise. Considerable evidence has accumulated indicating that regular physical exercise is associated with numerous physical and psychological health benefits. For example, regular engagement in moderate exercise such as a brisk walk, strengthens the immune system, decreases rate of illness. Exercise also strengthens body muscles, including the heart, muscles mass, and helps with weight management. Individuals who exercise regularly are also at reduced risk for some chronic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension. Although exercise is technically a stressor itself, requiring the body to adapt to the demands of the activity, Research suggests that regular physical exercise can help to reduce the body's reactivity to other stressors. In fact, several studies have demonstrated that individuals who exercise demonstrate lower physiological blood pressure, heart rate, markers of stress, and report less anxiety in response to a stressful situation than those who do not exercise. This finding is particularly important given that stressful events, approximately 80% of major depressive episodes, and stress is a central risk factor for the development of panic attacks. Generalized anxiety, post traumatic stress, social anxiety, and phobias. Thus, involvement in regular exercise may help protect against or prevent the onset of an anxiety and mood disturbances. In addition, accumulating research suggests that regular physical activity is effective in treating many of these conditions. Once they develop, in fact, some studies suggest that exercise is as effective as a psychotherapy or meditation in treating some anxiety and mood disorders. For example, in one study, individuals who experienced recurrent panic meditation recurrent panic attacks responded to 12 weeks of aerobic exercise in a comparable manner to those taking psychotic meditation. Other research has suggested that aerobic exercise reduces symptoms severely among individuals with obsessive compulsive disorder, and there are many things that they heal the things. Healthy eating. When experiencing high levels of stress, research suggests that many people change their eating patterns. One of the most common dietary changes associated with stress involves the increased consumption of caffeine in an effort to improve early morning or late night productivity. Ironically, although caffeine is associated with short term increases in alertness, caffeine can also exacerbate the stress response. For example, caffeine stimulates the body to release various stress hormones, including cortisol and as well as catecholamines, which include many things, just like the release of these chemicals is associated with heightened levels of stress for hours after ingestion. Healthy eating, adequate sleep, relaxation, mindfulness, and meditation. I earlier say that relaxation, mindfulness, and meditation is the best thing of deal with stress. Laughter, self-expression. Laughter is the best medicine, and self-expression, how to express ourselves, and social support. If we are socially involved, and cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring. We presume that the events that we experience have a direct effect on our emotions. For example, finding out what you made a poor grade on an exam, or that your partner wants to break up with you causes you to feel sad. However, it is not the event itself that leads to the emotion. It is the meaning that you give to the event or your interpretation of the situation that determines the event's emotional impact. If you interpret the poor grade to mean that you are not very intelligent or that you will never succeed in school, no matter how hard you try, you will likely experience depressed mood. If you interpret the grade as a fluke or the wake up call you have needed to enhance your motivation for school, your mood will likely be much less negative. So it's very important that prescription for stress management. There is a regular exercise, eat healthy diet, sleep, practice relaxation, express yourself, and be kind to your mind. Be kind to your mind. First thing, pause. Take breaks, make time, reach out and seek help. Pause, breathe, notice how you feel. Take breaks from many things just like COVID-19 content and everything. And make time to sleep and exercise. It's when many persons and many academicians also I uh, notice that they sleep only 6 hours or only 5 hours or only 4 hours. But it's not good. At least 8 hours sleep is very important. Reach out and stay connected and seek help. Seek help. You have any help. want any help, then call the helpline. So, and reframe, express yourself and reframe. Express yourself, look for the humor in stressful situations, and find ways to express your emotions through writing, art, talking with friends and family. And reframe, attend to the wasting which you think that about and interpret stressful situation, and look for opportunities to reframe the situation in a more rational or positive manner. The test at the end of the segment will present opportunity for you to demonstrate how much you have learned about stress and time management. So reframe yourself. So that's all from my side. If you have any query, any question, then please ask.